He thought he was slick.
This one is for you.
Oh,
You dropped it when you
my
pulled out your
God.
phone.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Click here. Click it.
Tell y'all something about marriage that a lot of people don't know. Baby, you don't need to sign a piece of paper to be married to somebody. You don't need a ring to be married to somebody. Back in the Bible days, they was instantly married after they had sex. Back in the Bible days, you didn't have sex with nobody unless you wanted to marry them. Once you had sex with somebody, that's when y'all became married. They took everything through God. See, nowadays, the government like to keep track of people. Why you think everybody have a different serial number? Why you think they ask for your personal information when you signing that little certificate of marriage? Y'all ain't hearing me, baby. You don't need a piece of paper to be married to somebody.
Okay, here's the deal with that young lady said. You know, I like her. She's got a good head on her shoulders, and you know, she's straight up. She's correct in what she said. She is absolutely correct. You don't have to be married to be together, or what she said. You don't have to be married to be married. You got some states have what is called common law marriage, and what that means is that now if she's talking about that, that's true. Because common law marriage, if you were someone, I know in certain states, if you were someone for 7 years, okay? And it varies from state to state. I know the state of New Jersey, Maryland, so it's 7 years. So if you want someone 7 years and y'all break up, then that person gets you have to either like pay off that person, or I don't know how that goes. I don't know if it's called a palimony or what, but I know that during that separation, one of the parties or the other are due some type of you know, compensation, so to speak. Compensation, you know. So, but here's the thing about what she's saying, that she's correct, but also too at the same time, if you don't get married, let's say for instance, you're together for years and you don't get married and that significant other pass away, you have no rights to whatever that significant other owns. Okay, I had a family member going with this guy, right? Now, before they got together, this guy was married. He had children, right? So my family member that was with this guy, they lived together. They were like husband and wife, but they never married. When he passed away, right? His children came into her home and claimed all of his stuff. And by law, she had to give it up to him. Not only his children came to her place, his ex-wife came to her place. So all the stuff that he had, whatever he had in his bank accounts, his assets, all of that went to his ex-wife and his children. All for the due fact that they were not married. So she had no claim on nothing. Now, that young lady is right in what she said, but you just have to beware of the ramifications that comes after that if that significant other pass away or leaves you.
What about a will?
Wills can always be contested. You know? You know, I don't know the legalities as far as a will and how that pertains to someone who's not married, but I do know that when you're not married, you know, and there's significant other leaves or pass away, you're not in a good position to claim anything, really. It's like a fighting uphill battle.
I just think, this is a question I have. I just think, well, question and a statement and opinion. I just think marrying somebody and having the state get involved with your marriage as far as improving your marriage usually gives women too much leverage, in my opinion, because when it's like basically they have so much, like they have the government backing them as far as like, they have the government backing them as far as like, if they know basically if you don't do right, they can divorce you and they can pretty much, they'll get all the benefits and you'll be left like paying them alimony or them taking half or whatever else comes with that.
Well, I mean, that's true. But that needs to be changed. But see, the reason why is because of that is because the court system today backs the woman.
Right.
And that needs to be changed. Now, if a man, now you ladies listen to this, since y'all so, now I'm talking about the modern day women so big and bad, oh yeah, whatever, If a man makes less than you, and you make more than him, and y'all go into divorce, you get all uppity and decide you want to, drop him or whatever, guess what? You're going to have to pay alimony to him. Yeah. It happened to Whoopi Goldberg. Her husband sued her for alimony because she was a big movie star. She made a lot of money, apparently more than him, and she sued him. She was paying, and she probably still paying him alimony to this day. So it does work the other way around. Now, brothers, I know y'all say, well, you know what, you get these women, they got this big head because they make more than you and stuff like that, and they marry you, and they all, all this and that. Let them go ahead and leave. You can sue them for alimony.
Why don't men get alimony? Because it's my personal belief that the laws are neutral. They're gender neutral. But men do not get treated fairly when it comes to alimony in the court system. Judges are biased against them. They are. And I'm sorry to say it, but that's the truth. In the last 40 years, I have had 4 cases that I remember of men getting alimony that I had to twist their arms in order to get alimony for them.
You know what I heard about alimony? You have to pay them. This is what I heard. I don't know if it's true. You have to pay them until they get married again. So some people get such a big check that they don't ever get married again.
Of course, some people get a big check, they don't get married again. There's a lot of people that don't get married again. They just collect that alimony.
What kind of law is that? That's not like, that's wild. Like that means if you, I won't say you.
Thank you.
If a person was to let's say John was to get divorced from his wife Susie, so he divorces her or she divorces him, right? And then she goes on by life. He has to pay her alimony. It's 3 years later, 4 years later. Now John marries, I don't know, Martha or something like that, or Mary. I don't know. I'm doing Bible names.
Pick such generic names.
I know these Bible names. He's married to, I don't know, Mary, but he still has to pay whoever, I forgot the first lady's name. He still has to pay his first wife alimony. That's what I heard.
Wow. Well, I don't know if that's pending from state to state. I don't know from providence to providence, but if that is, true, I've never heard of that, but if that is true, then that's messed up.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, I hear what you're saying as far as like marriage and everything like that, but it's just like.
Well, I was talking about when it pertains to property, what you guys have accumulated over the years and so forth and so forth. So, that's basically what I was saying. But
it's like pros and cons to it. I feel like more cons than anything because the average person don't have a whole bunch of property and a whole bunch of money and
the average person doesn't.
But the average person probably could be paying alimony.
The average person does pay alimony.
Crazy.
Like
they're a kid or something. That's like weird to me. And it's mainly women that get the alimony, and women are the ones that's usually filing for divorce. So why even?
My best friend, one of my best friends, one of my buddies, I'm not gonna say his name. His wife was, suing him for alimony, but she made more than him. And the judge said, I can't. She said, you make more than him.
He should have countersued.
He could have, but he didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because they had children together and stuff like that. He didn't want to do that, but he could have. He could have. you know, and and the judge said, yeah, but you make good money. So what do you need alimony from him for? That's just it. So I guess it all has a lot to do with what state you live in too. So I don't know if that's general across the board. But I guess certain people experience certain things, and you know, that live in certain states, and they tell about their experience and you know what happened to them. And sometimes we think that's generally across the board, and in some cases it's not. I think it goes from state to state.